Hello everybody and welcome back. And we successfully coded for now a simple message program which sends messages back and forth. Now just by simply changing the IP address to bind to and IP address to connect to, you can run this on two different machines on local network. Or if you do a port forward, you can run these two programs across the globe. But right now, we are not here to make a simple message program. We are here to actually make a reverse shell which will run quietly and not be detectable by the target. So we do not want to prompt the target with the type message to send to server. So let's actually make our reverse shell to be able to actually execute the system commands. And by system commands, I mean the command prompt commands. So if we type, for example, dir or something like that, we get a list of all the files in the current directory. So let's see how we can actually do that. There is a library in Python called subprocess which allows us to actually execute commands, terminal commands on the system with the Python. So let's use that library. Just type here import subprocess. I believe that's how you specify it. If it's not, we will have to check it out on the internet. And what we want to do is we want to first of all delete this. So if message equals q, that should stay right here. So the break and q stays right here. This is what goes away. So we do not want to prompt user anything. We do not want to use raw input on the client side or on the reverse shell side of the code. What we want to do is basically execute the command that we receive. So how do we do that? Well, basically we first of all receive the command. So we receive the command right here. So let us rename it into the command so you don't get confused. We do not want to print the command on the reverse shell, so delete this as well. Print message or command, delete that. And here delete the sock.send message back. So right now you should be having only this. We only receive the command if the command equals q, so we have to change that as well. So not any more message if the command equals q now. Then we break out of the loop. Else we want to run a rather long command right now, since that is the syntax for this command, which allows us to actually execute a terminal command or a command prompt command. We will call it proc as a process equals, and now just type what I type, subprocess.popen, so process open, and then we want to run the command, which is this that we received, and then comma shell equals true, then comma stdout equals subprocess.pipe. We make sure to type capital pipe so it doesn't. I'm not really sure if it will work with the smaller pipe. Let us enlarge this so it all fits. Or let's actually just close this for now on and let's enlarge this terminal. So we are only redoing the client right now. So else proc equals subprocess.popen. We run the command that we received, shell equals true, stdout equals subprocess.pipe, and then after that stderr equals subprocess.pipe as well, and standard input also equals subprocess.pipe. So stdin equals subprocess.pipe. So we want to pipe that process or that result from the command that we received, and we will do that with the result variable. So we just create a variable called result, or call it anything you want. I will call it result in my case. And we want to call it proc.stdout.read, or not call it, we want to add to it plus proc.stderr.read. So we want to put both of these outputs of the command that we executed into our result variable, and all we have to do right now is actually send the result back to our target. We do that with the command that we already used, so sock.send result, and we should be good to go. So let's see, is there anything that we have to change in our server program? So this should be it for this, I believe. If it is not, we will add things necessary. So Control-O to save, enter, Control-X to exit this. Now let's actually nano this server.py. Let's close it in the other terminal, since we do not need it. So let's exit this for a second. Let's only use this terminal for a moment. And this is our server. So right now we send the message, which we also want to switch to command so we don't get confused. So command target send, we send to the target command. If the command equals Q, we break out of the loop, and answer, which will be the result, equals target.receive, and then we print the answer. So this should be good, I believe. So if you switched everything for the command, all the messages you switch for the command, and name the answer, rename it to result, so it makes sense more, and print the result. Don't print answers since we don't have the variable answer anymore. Right now you can Control-O this as well, Control-X to exit, and we can run the server. It is listening for the incoming connections. Right now let us open a second terminal, enlarge it a little bit, zoom in. Let us just make this a little bit more viewable. So let's split this into two. Let's also add this one here. Okay, so this should be good. Right now let me just switch my directory to where my reverse shell is, and I run the reverse shell. So we successfully got connection established to server, and right now what I want to do is first of all move this so we can see both of the terminals. And right now I should be able to execute commands in a terminal. Let's see how will that work. If I just type here ls, we can see that we successfully got back from the other terminal, we got back the contents of that directory. If I just type here who am I get back root, so I am the root user. If I were to, for example, type here reboot, it would restart my machine. So we successfully were able to create a program that actually executes the command or commands, terminal commands and command prompt commands on the target machine. So we successfully created this most simple version of the reverse shell. This can also be dangerous, and it can also be used to change some things on the target machine, especially if they run it as an administrator or as the root user. So let's see what else we can run. pwd ls-la. But you will notice if I, for example, run a code for the ifconfig, okay, so for this as well we get the full output, but you will notice that we only specified the receive function to receive 1024 bytes. But what happens if we actually try to receive more bytes than that? That will actually crash our program. So what we want to do, we want to actually be able to send as much data as we want and receive as much data as we want. And we also have to fix some bugs such as this one, where I just press enter and don't send anything. It just bugs out. As we can see, it is waiting for a reply, but our reverse shell doesn't know what to reply with, since the command that it received was just nothing. It wasn't anything, it was just an empty space, so it can't execute that command. Therefore it can't send the answer back to our server. Therefore they are both hanging on waiting each other's requests. So that's something that we also have to fix. There are many things that need fixing here, but this is pretty good for our beginner reverse shell. Now we have to fix it a little bit, add some of the functions here and there, fix some bugs, and then we can continue adding different options for our reverse shell. So that will be about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!